Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, this is going to be kind of a different video. I've been trying to calm myself down and not just make this all about just my angry opinion, and but it's probably going to be kind of like that. Let me start at the very beginning. Let me tell you where I'm at this morning. As far as these videos go, and me making this video, I gotta say this, I can still, after making literally, I think I've made over 2,200 videos, over 2,200 videos. If you look at the top of where my name is, I've made over 2,200 videos, and I still can't figure you guys out. It still amazes me. In the last week, okay, the videos of me celebrating my 17th anniversary of being clean and sober, honestly, I can't tell you guys how much support when I see those comments coming in, congratulating me. They still mean so much. They mean just as much to me now as they did like on my first month clean and sober. It feels so good to do the right thing. I mean, honestly, to have other people acknowledge that you're living your life in a better way, to be happy for you. It's a great thing. But I really didn't think they were going to get that many views. I really didn't. It was a personal thing, 17 years. I thought people would just be like, meh, that's great, and move on. And those videos got a lot of views, which is great. Last couple of days, I look at it, I thought the videos would, a lot of people would be interested in current events. And I turned on yesterday's, and I think I had 35 views on a video that I probably thought I was going to have like 1,000 or 1,500 views. So I still can't figure you guys out. And when that happens, I just throw everything to the wind and just say, you know what? I can't figure these guys out. My regular viewers, I know what you guys like. But a lot of times, if I look at my analytics, the higher percentage of the people that watch my channel are people that aren't subscribed. And I can't figure those guys out. Just like I said, it's been 4 or 5 years and 2,200 videos, and I still I don't have the slightest clue what you guys are going to watch and what you're just going to pass right by or what you're going to click on. When that happens, I throw everything to the wind and say, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about and let the chips fall where they may. If they watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. Screw it. And that's where I'm at today. Okay. I'm angry this morning. This is no other way to put it. 2 stories in the news. The first one, you guys know, my family's from Maine. I'm French-Canadian, Native American, Micmac tribe. And a lot of my family's from Maine, the very up top of Maine. But I know a lot of people in down east Maine, lower Maine. And I'll put the link to this. I'm not going to talk much about it. But there was an incident yesterday in Lewiston, Maine. It's the 2nd largest city in Maine. And there's reports of over 22 people dead. An incident, that's what I need to say, another incident at a bowling alley. So I see this, and there's pictures of the guy actually, on security camera going into the bowling alley, and I look, whenever I see that, I look at this guy, and you try to figure out what's going on in his head. What is he, you see his eyes, you see what he's doing, and what is this guy, where is this guy at, and what do you do with him? If you actually manage to catch him still alive. Okay, there's that. Then there's a news story, and this is what I'm going to talk about. The 2 teens in Las Vegas. And I debated saying their names because a lot of people, when this kind of stuff, the 2 teens that were driving a car, I'm not sure if it was stolen or not. That doesn't even play into this. Driving a car, and they're filming themselves, 16-year-old and 18-year-old, and they're coming up behind a bicyclist. An ex-police chief, Jesus Ayala. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry. That's one of the people driving the car. The police chief's name was Andreas Probst, and he's an ex-police chief, and he's driving his bike. And you guys could understand. I ride my bike every day. I'll talk more about that in a second. And they're coming up behind this guy, and they just purposely run him over or hit him and take his life. Okay, that's bad enough. That's bad enough. But, and then there's recordings of them in the back of the police car. The links will be down below to that from TMZ. One of the suspects is in the back of the police car. And he doesn't realize that the person, he doesn't think it's a big deal In his mind, it's just a hit and run. Is it really that big? He actually says this. Is that big a deal? Yeah, and the cop's like, yeah, it's a big deal. You know, so you think to yourself, you know, wait till they get to court and they realize what they're looking at here. You know, they're going to be tried as adults. They're going to pray to God they're going to be tried as adults, and they're going to be facing the rest of their natural lives in a jail cell. Hopefully, if everything goes good, they will never see the sunshine again. And so they're in court, and this I can't tell you how angry this makes me. And they're having a grand old time. They're laughing. They're blocking. They're all cutesy, blocking their face from the cameras, and they're looking like this, playing peekaboo with the camera. Seriously, these two guys sitting in the courtroom next to each other, a little ways away from each other. And then it gets worse. And I'm you know, you see me smiling, but this is anger. And then the daughter of the police chief. You know, I've lost people in my 57 years. I've lost people I love more than anything in this world. And I can't imagine this. The daughter and the mother. The daughter, Taylor, I'm not sure what the wife's name is. And these two punks actually flip off the daughter and the mother of the police chief, the guy, the bicyclist that they took his life. They actually flip off the surviving wife and daughter. And they're just laughing, playing peekaboo with the camera, laughing. You know, tattoos all over their faces and stuff. You know what? I thought about this morning. I'm a liberal, all right? I'm a tried and true, tree-hugging, electric car driving liberal. And I thought about this. What penalty do you want to give these guys? I think about the guy in the bowling alley, and I think he's insane. I'm not even sure what to do with him. I'm not even sure how people like that exist. I'm even more mad at these two teens, and I can't even tell you why. It's because they know what they did. They know exactly what they did, and they just have zero empathy or compassion or regret or anything. Even sitting in the courtroom, even knowing that they took this guy's life. And I thought about this. If it were up to me, if they needed somebody, if they were facing capital punishment, okay, say like an electric type capital punishment with a chair, you know, and they needed somebody, seriously, I'm not just saying this, you know, just because I'm all angry looking cool on the camera. Could I do it? If they said, Daryl, you know, will you push the button for both these guys? Send the electricity through. Will you do it? You know, and honestly, I think I could. I think I would. I think I'd be doing the rest of society a favor. That I would be saving other people. That's how I would look at it. I look at these two, and they have zero empathy and zero compassion, zero regret. What are they going to contribute? You know, it's not up to me to judge somebody. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. This is probably going to be a long video. It's not up to me to judge somebody, but you got to weigh, you know, what is this person going to contribute to society? And you got to kind of guess, do you know your best human guess. And what did they take from society? You know, and the way they seem to have zero learning curve, zero learning empathy ability to realize what they did. So to me, the chances of them 20 years from now, 30 years from now, being an actual productive member of society is zero. And what they've already taken from society, you know, and what to do with this guy in the bowling alley? Like I said, that just boggles my mind. You know, I don't even know what to think about that. So I thought about, you know, could I push the button? And I'm not saying it just to sit here, you know, I'm a liberal, but I push the button. I really think, you know, because I believe in God, I believe in heaven, I believe in Jesus. You know, could I go face my maker after doing that? And I really think I could. I think, you know, weighing it out, what am I potentially saving other people from if I did that? You know, am I actually doing something good by doing something evil? You know, maybe, you know, if you consider capital punishment evil. All right, that's you know, and I could end the video right there. Yesterday, I'm driving to Walmart, And it's a very busy road. It's 6:30 in the morning. I do my shopping. I do everything very early. In between making my video and working out and then doing some painting, I run to the store and do my shopping before it gets busy. I'm kind of antisocial too, and I like to get in there early. 6:30 in the morning. And this is the road to Hartford, Connecticut, the capital. So it's very busy. It's a 2-lane highway. And I can't believe how people are driving at 6:30 in the morning. You know, and I think about yesterday, I was watching people drive. You know, and it's a 45-mile-an-hour road. And they're doing, you know, the thing that just amazes me is how they look at it like a racetrack. A lot of the drivers are just like, they're making stupid moves. You know, there's a car here, me here, and they come up and they know they're going to be blocked in this lane, but they're doing anything just to get 10 feet further, you know, down the road. You know, so they're cutting in front of this one, they're cutting over here, they're cutting over here, then losing ground, and cutting back here and cutting up here. And I watched them drive, and I'm just, it just amazes me. You know, is it that important to get where you're going 3 minutes faster than, you know, and actually endangering your life, other people's lives, other people's property? Is it worth it? And why not just get up 5 minutes earlier? Why not just roll out of bed 5 minutes earlier so you don't have to drive like that? Or do you just like driving like that? Because at 57, I've changed a lot. Okay, let's go back to the bicyclists. I thought about this, you know, can I sit here and tell you and pontificate about these two and what I'd like to do to them, but not admit. I thought about the worst thing I did, you know, because I ride a bike every day, and every day I think about getting hit from behind. It's my greatest fear because you can't protect yourself. You don't know. I think after all these days of bike riding, thousands of days of bike riding, I could actually tell by the sound of the vehicle coming up behind me where they are. And there's some vehicles every single day that purposefully come close to me, come over the white line. Because I see them. I see them go by, and I see their face looking at me, and then I see their face in the rearview mirror looking back at me to see if I'm going to react. I see this every day, and I actually caught up to one guy who did this to me. Almost hit me with his rearview mirror. Right? I accidentally cut in front of him, and because my glove got stuck on the brake lever. And I couldn't stop. And I went right across the road and I cut in front of this guy. And I was going down the road. And this guy came up in his truck right next to me. And I swear to God, he had a Trump sticker on his truck. That's what enraged me the most. And he came within this close of hitting me. And here's the thing. He was coming up to a stoplight and it was red. So he had to stop. It was in the middle of town. And I came up beside him and I just started screaming at him. And at first he played stupid. He's like, hey, what? You know, and then I'm like, you almost, you know, look what you almost did. And this is what he actually said to me. He said, I had to teach you a lesson. I had to teach you a lesson, the way you cut out. You know, and I didn't even tell him about the glove. I was just sitting there in shocked amazement. How is it somebody else's job to teach me a lesson? You know, how is that teaching me a lesson? You know, you think about that. If I had just, you know, accidentally swerved 6 inches out, he could have taken my life, and he'd be spending his life in jail. His wife, his kids, his grandkids would never see him, you know, all the things that would happen to him. And in his mind, he thinks he's teaching me a lesson. Like I said, this is what I fear every day, a car coming up behind me and hitting me from behind. You know, because I can't see it coming. I can't protect myself. And I've come across incidents where a bicyclist has been hit, and I just remember seeing god-awful pictures of people. They're still alive, but the back of their leg is just all torn out, and just god-awful injuries from being hit by a car. You know, and this is all going through my head when I hear a vehicle coming up behind me every single day. You know, so I do have a lot more empathy for the police chief here, Andreas Probst. Okay. So I thought about what's one of the worst things I did, because they're kids. And I think about how I've developed empathy in my older years, you know, because I've lost people now. I've suffered a lot of pain, regret, loss. So I think I have more empathy. But when I was younger, I remember this. I was coming back from the beach with 2 of my buddies, 17 years old. And there's about 3 of us in a car. And I've never told anybody this, but if I'm going to do this video, I'm going to be honest. And the worst thing I did, we were eating, there was leftover grinders. We'd always bring a grinder with us to the beach. You know, we'd drink some beer, 17 years old, look at girls, all that stuff. And we're going home from the beach, and there's leftover wet grinders in the cooler. you know, from the ice. They're wet. They're soggy, wet grinders, like a half a grinder. And I admit, I hate to admit that I did this, but there was a jogger. We're coming up to a jogger, and I took the wet grinder, and I threw it at the jogger. And I didn't think it would hit the person or whatever, and it did. It just slapped against the back of the person's back, and it must have hurt. You know, the person was shocked and fell, and, you know, and we thought it was funny until the cops caught up with us when we got home, because somebody did get our license plate. But that's the worst thing I ever did. And I think about, you know, should I give these younger guys the benefit of the doubt that they're going to mature, that they can change, they can actually change? And I don't think I can. I don't think I can, because it looks like they have zero empathy, even after sitting in the courtroom and knowing that that is the wife and daughter of the person's life you took, and they're still sitting there laughing. You know, I feel guilty 40 years later. 40 years later, for hitting somebody with a wet sandwich. I feel regret. I'll feel that for the rest of my life. I feel like I'll be judged by God for that incident. I really do. The pain and the fear that person felt when I hit them with the wet sandwich. You know, and look at these guys. Are they ever going to regret doing this? You know, so you have to use your best human fallible judgment, you know, because we do make mistakes. Do you think they're going to change? Do you think they're going to serve some purpose in society, even if it's in jail? Do you think they're going to change? They're going to regret. They're going to have empathy. They're going to say they're sorry. I don't. And personally, I don't think it's even worth taking a chance. And I would push the button. Their names are Jesus Ayala. And I say this just because I pray that one of their families happens to catch my video. And I just want to embarrass the family. Jesus Ayala, 18 years old. And Jasmir Keys, 16 years old. Jasmir Keys, these two young men. I want to say something else, that are facing these charges and appear to have no empathy. This isn't my usual video. I usually don't just ramble, an angry ramble like this, but I threw everything to the wind today. Let's see how the views go. Let me know your comments. Have a good Thursday.